Thanks for watching Community Update for Friday, November 13th. I'm Steve Erickson. As the number of COVID infections across the state keeps setting new records, Governor Tim Walz announced additional restrictions this week to try to curb the spread. Bars and restaurants across Minnesota are now under a 10 p.m. curfew. In addition to the earlier closing time, no bar games that require standing are allowed, and counter service is closed except in counter-only establishments. Walz also announced a 10-person limit for indoor and outdoor gatherings with members of 3 households or less. Also, starting November 27th, wedding receptions and similar celebrations will be limited to 50 people. The limit decreases to 25 people on December 11th.
Over the last about 10 days, we have seen that exponential growth in Minnesota. We've seen it hit record cases of identifying, and that's not just because we're testing more. We kept and did, because of the sacrifices of each and every one of you, because Minnesotans have looked out for their neighbors, we were able to keep our infection rates at a much lower rate than a large portion of the country.
Walz also announced another $10 million is being added to a grant program to help small businesses struggling during the pandemic. Here's a look at the latest COVID statistics here in Anoka County. There have now been more than 14,000 confirmed cases since March, with nearly 1/3 of those cases reported in just the last 2 weeks. So far, 185 people have died. The median age of death is 83 years old. The Minnesota Department of Health is expanding access to free, no-barrier COVID-19 testing. The Anoka Armory is one of 11 new testing sites opening next week across the state. The sites will replace pop-up style community testing events and will be open 3 to 5 days a week through at least the end of the year. They will be staffed by local health officials and Minnesota National Guard members. As the number of confirmed COVID cases spikes, the Anoka School District is preparing to move elementary students to full distance learning. Middle and high school students made the switch November 4th. CTN's Jennifer Anderson joins us now with the latest. Jen?
Steve, the district just announced that all elementary students will move to distance learning on Monday, November 30th. The students will not have class the 2 days before Thanksgiving break to allow teachers time to prepare. Superintendent David Law says it comes down to the numbers.
Lately, the county numbers are rising incredibly fast. We're hitting crisis stages in terms of the number of people that have COVID. So we're approaching the spot where by the 23rd of November, we would be 3 times the recommended number of being in school or over that. We felt that, like most of the metro, it was time.
Keeping in-person classes fully staffed has become increasingly difficult. Positive cases among employees and students can be seen on the district's COVID-19 dashboard. Positive cases topped out at 86.14 among staff last week per 10,000. Not shown is many more staff and students that may not test positive but have to isolate and quarantine.
Early in the week, we had 220 people quarantined on Monday or Tuesday, and by Thursday, that was 370. And so that's for staff members. Those numbers make it really hard to keep our buildings open.
An advisory committee was formed to look at localized data and explore ways to transition students back to in-person learning as soon as possible. Some high-need special ed students will continue in the hybrid format for now, and the district is also working to offer voluntary in-person help to some middle and high schoolers who are struggling the most. Law suggests that students could return in phases based on need.
Maybe there's ways to bring back kindergarten, first, and second graders at some point in time ahead of the whole group for a hybrid model. Spread them out because those kids are the least likely to be successful in distance learning, and we know that. And we're working on that right now. We're not going to wait till things start to get better and whenever that's going to be. We're already planning for the minute we can do it safely. We're going to start looking at bringing in those kids that really struggle in distance learning and get them back in our building.
Again, classes are canceled on the 23rd and 24th for elementary students only. The school calendar for middle and high school students will not be affected at this time. Steve, back to you.
All right, Jen, thanks. It was a little different this year, but this week, students across the district honored those who've served our country.
What Veterans Day means to me is when we honor the veterans who came before us and they served our country for us, and we should be grateful and every chance that we get to see them, we should respect them and thank them.
This is video students and staff at Hamilton Elementary School put together for Veterans Day. The kids recorded messages about what veterans mean to them. Teachers also told stories, and there was even some music thrown in. More than a dozen schools in Anoka-Hennepin held Veterans Day programs. Time now for Business Spotlight. This month, we go inside kids' hair, a salon designed specifically for children.
Kids Hair wanted to create a salon environment that was just for kids, where all families felt welcome, whether their kids had anxiety about haircuts or just a place that was more fun. So we've seen our stylists come up with all these unique ways to make kids comfortable. I've seen them cut the kids' hair while they're laying on the floor in the lobby because that's most comfortable to them. We obviously have TVs at every station. We have toys kids can play with. We call them fidget baskets or calming baskets at all the stations where they can hold on to something that maybe distracts them or keeps them calm. We just get to see a lot of really unique things with stylists trying lots of things to help kids get comfortable. We've limited the amount of stylists on to accommodate the capacity laws right now. And it's extra tough for us because we can have 7 guests in the salon, but for us there's 2 guests for every stylist because there's the child and the parent. There's a bed kids can lay down on to get their hair washed, so it doesn't matter if they're a 3-year-old or a 12-year-old, they're all comfortable, and it's better for our stylist backs too. We do, at the end of every haircut or service, a complimentary fun extra, which is a big part of the experience at Kids Hair, where kids get a little styling with their hair, whatever they'd like. Usually for girls it's a little side braid, and for boys it's spikes or maybe a faux hawk. And then they can choose a color and or glitter spray to put in their hair. It's temporary, it's fun, and it just is really fun to see the kids smile at the end.
Students at Anoka Ramsey Community College are gearing up for their fall production, but it will look a lot different this year. The pre-recorded performance of The Living will be available online starting November 20th for a limited time screening. There is no charge to view the performance. Along with the auditions, rehearsals have been taking place virtually. The college says the unique scenario has given students an opportunity to focus on specific skills and reach a larger audience than a traditional production. I think there's a lot of folks out there learning a lot of new skills this year. All right, that's going to bring us to the end of today's show. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here again next week.